Well, I don't know the exact dollar amount what they're offering, but clearly Meta is going big in terms of poaching the top AI researchers. We saw that with the Scale AI acquihires. They pretty much poached the founder. And look, I think they want to assemble the top 50 AI researchers that are out there who have got published papers, and they are paying up in this case because they've made all the big investments in terms of compute, in terms of infrastructure, but they don't have a cloud business or some other form of monetization that a Google has or a Microsoft has. So from that perspective, I think it's crunch time for them to really show that they can develop an ecosystem with their large language model, which has been underperforming relative to OpenAI, Google, and Claude. And I think it's the founder, Mark Zuckerberg, who really is going all out. I mean, you can't expect any other CEO to be that aggressive with paying $5 billion for 50 people. Literally, that's what the expense that we are talking about. So Facebook, Meta as a company, has over 76,000 employees with an expense base of 115 billion. They're adding 5 more billion for 50 people. That's what we are talking about here.
Wow, that's the order of magnitude.
Yeah.
All right, so it's clear that Meta's all in. What does this mean for Apple? If I were an Apple shareholder, I'd be concerned here. A, I'm losing talent. But B, it's coming from an area where I feel like I'm underinvested already, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm already behind. What do you think this means for Apple?
I mean, clearly, everyone on the research side realizes that Apple doesn't have the big AI cluster that these companies have. And, generative AI is all about having a large cluster, training your model on that cluster, and then really building from there. So from that perspective, Apple has lagged behind. And if you're a top AI researcher, there are better companies to work for right now. So I'm not surprised, a top AI researcher has ended up taking up the offer. But for Apple, look, they're going to use a combination of partnerships and some on-device AI investment, which is what they have done in terms of, their own model efforts. They're going to partner with Claude, OpenAI, probably Google as well, once the antitrust issues are over. And that's how they're going to provide the functionality. As long as it's cloud-based, they have the app infrastructure to offer AI. For on-device AI, they have to do it natively at the operating system level. You can't really leverage the large language model from OpenAI on device because you have to really open up your operating system, which Apple won't do.
I have to add some kind of AI in my resume. I think
Yes,
I'm behind
exactly.
Apple on this. Mandy, what kind of tone does this set for the industry? What kind of message is this sending?
I mean, to my mind, this is a very high risk play right now. The market sentiment is Meta can do no wrong. They are making all the right moves with getting these, big AI researchers. But at the end of the day, it is, they're doubling down on CapEx, adding more OpEx. So from a spending perspective, Meta is going all in. And so, once it starts to weigh on free cash flow and the returns are not there, which is why I said, with everyone else, you see the AI monetization. If you have a coding agent from Microsoft or Google, they are monetizing it. With Meta, all these are upfront investments with the hope that it will add more engagement time across their family of apps. They will probably have a killer AI product that they'll be able to monetize with in addition to their recommendation systems. So the stakes are getting higher and higher, but clearly they are doubling down in terms of their investment. And at some point, the monetization question will kick in. Probably not this earnings season, but maybe a couple of quarters from now.